Hey everyone, hello. First of all, happy holidays and Merry Christmas 2022. It's my tradition that every year I go over all the games I played this year and give my thoughts and talk a little bit about what I have in store for the next year. So, first things first, this year was a busy one. I played a lot of games on stream, and one of the things while I was making the list I saw was that a lot of the games I was going through had a feeling of nostalgia to it. Either for myself or for chat, there was a lot of positive comments from chat that were like, "Oh, this game, I love it," or "Oh, this game." It was kind of funny because I didn't like pick them specifically for that theme. I just sort of pick things from a big list I have, and that just happened to like be a recurring thing throughout the year, which was, a good thing, but a little surprising that I ended up with so many games in one year that all had the same feeling. So, what was the first game that I streamed this year? That was Lost Kingdoms 2, which is still to this day one of my absolute favorite games on the GameCube. The prequel too. Lost Kingdoms in general is just amazing. I highly, highly recommend if you like RPGs with a unique little twist, play this and its prequel. They're both great games. Very, very nice. I mean, if you like card battlers, but in a different way, I thoroughly enjoy both games. It is a very underrated series, sadly a bit forgotten these days, which is why I picked it. But yeah, very, very awesome game. That's not the one I want. There we go. I had them mixed up for some reason. Either way, the next game I played was another nostalgic game, Banjo-Kazooie. What can I say about Banjo-Kazooie? It's an all-time classic. It's a great platformer with very good music, funny characters, great dialogue, humor, charming environment and enemies, and just overall a very pleasant experience. And I greatly enjoyed playing that. And I will probably play the sequel sometime this year or sometime next year, perhaps. It's in my list, so look forward to that. Okay, then after that, I did the entire Monkey Island series, and oh my god, that was fantastic. Seriously. I've only played the very first and the second one, I think. Yeah, second one as well, a little bit when I was a kid, but I never got to experience the entire series, and I had it on my list for a good while, but never had the motivation to go for it. And then at one point, like in my both in my YouTube community and in my Discord, I asked the question, how many of you would like it if I go play the entire Monkey Island series? And I should have asked that sooner because as soon as I did, many comments like, "Oh my god, Monkey Island, it's so good, it's my childhood, yes, stream it, it's awesome." And so I did, and I don't regret it at all. All games, even the very last one, the Tales of, which is sometimes seen by some, apparently, from what I learned, as not as good, but I enjoyed all games like immensely. Very, very, very fantastic games. That's not even English, don't care. Awesome games. If you like point and clicks, if you haven't played them yet, do yourself a favor and go play these. They're all available on Steam, I think GOG as well, and you can just play them on a modern PC without any issues. They are amazing. And there's actually a new one that came out. Kind of funny. As soon as I finished the fifth one, the sixth one got announced on Steam and is actually out since a couple of months now. So it's on my list, and I will stream it probably next year sometime. I want more Guybrush Threepwood in my life. I got seriously attached to these characters when I played the first game. It was cool. I liked it, but I was like, okay, yeah, it's just a point and click. But then I played the second one, and from then on, it only like grew more on me. Like the characters, the little references, the humor, the mannerisms, the music, everything just clicked together, and it was a fantastic experience. And I it's one of those game series where you're like, ah, man, I wish I could play it again fresh without memory, because that's the one bad thing. If you know what to do, all of these games kind of fall flat because you know the solutions to the point and clicks. But that still, it still means that they're still great games, of course. It's just they have not as much replay value as most games, but still, excellent game series and amazing point and clicks, and I highly recommend you if you haven't played them, go check them out. They're very, very good. After all of that, I did a little request from one of my best friends, Ardalan, who asked me, "Do you know about the game Artie Lightfoot?" And I was like, "No, I don't know what that game is." So she showed me a picture, she showed me a little synopsis, she gave me a link to the site where I could read about the game, she gave me a little YouTube video link, and I was like, "Oh, I've never heard of this game before. What's it like?" Well, she said, it's like a charming little platformer, and yeah, it has cute art style and neat music. It's not super long. It's kind of difficult though, and I was intrigued, and I actually streamed it more or less for her birthday, or close to her birthday, I believe. Or was it on my birthday? No, I have to look that up. It was for either. I think it was. I'm bad with dates. Either way, it was on a special day, but it was for her as well. And it was a pretty fun stream. I managed to clear the whole game just barely in one stream, but it was again nostalgia for her, for Aldelan, and she enjoyed it immensely, and I'm glad she did. And I had fun playing the game too. It was great. If you like short, challenging, nice-looking platformers, go play Artie Lightfoot. It's good. After that, I played my annual Castlevania game of the year. Pretty much, that's the same thing, annual and of the year, but you know what I mean. Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance, I believe. Yes. More or less the black sheep of the Castlevania games, at least from what I've heard of the community and what I've heard of the Twitch comments, that most people say they either don't like the game as much or that they have played it the least. I'm not sure why. It's still a little solid it's still a little solid Metroidvania. I liked it. It wasn't bad. It's just, I guess, all the other games do better, or at least feel more polished. I still liked it though. It had good music. It had a very big map, basically 2 castles layered on top of each other, and you had a lot of exploring to do, lots of items to find, the typical Metroidvania stuff. It was good, but I could see why other games of the same era, like you also have Circle of the Moon and you have Area of Sorrow, and well, then came the DS games, and they were all better, but that's kind of unfair because it's a different system. But I can see why this one kind of got left in the shadows a bit. But still, if you like Metroidvanias and you haven't played this one, it's good. I can recommend it. It's just, I mean, it's not super crazy amazing like some of the other Castlevania games, but it's still nice. I still liked it. It has good music, like I said. It's not bad, but it's not super amazing either. After that, I did a rerun of my Dune game. This is the 3rd time I'm revisiting it, because the very first time I streamed, I played it for YouTube. I did the Harkonnen campaign. The 2nd time I did the Atreides campaign, and then this year I did the Ordos campaign. So now all 3 campaigns are done. I'm basically finished with the game, but it doesn't mean the end of Dune for my channel. I'm looking into going for Dune 2000, because I've heard it's pretty good. There's supposedly also mods for the Building of a Dynasty game, so I have to look into that. I want to have more Dune eventually, because I grew up with Dune. Again, nostalgia. I grew up with Dune. It's a fantastic RTS, and I want to do more of it, but I have to do some research and find the right games, and, well, there will be more Sandworms and Spies on my channel at some point. After that, I did another thing. Not really nostalgia. Well, I mean, sort of. It was kind of funny that I decided to go for Diamond, randomized, because it was the same year. Yeah, it was the same. No, wait. No. Well, okay, yeah, it was the same year that Arceus came out, I believe. Legend of Arceus, was it January this year? And then the November before was Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, I believe. But there was another crazy randomized run of Pokemon Diamond. It was fun. It was kind of hard in the beginning, but I more or less steamrolled near the end. But it was still funny to see all the weird evolutions and changed gym leaders and the typical randomized nonsense with like move sets and abilities and everything. It was great. I probably will do another randomized run. Not sure which game yet. I'm thinking maybe Ruby or Sapphire. Something I haven't done yet. Like I've done Fire Red, I've done Platinum, Diamond, Heart Gold. So probably Ruby or Sapphire is next. After that, I played Zargon, and this is nostalgic for me again. Weird DOS platformer, very interesting though, and chat liked it, even though the story was bonkers and the music is strange. Everything is strange about the game. It's a very strange Jill of the Jungle-esque DOS platformer made by Epic Mecha Games. It's good, but weird. I've already did that before on YouTube, but I never streamed it on Twitch. So now my Twitch chat also got to experience this game, and there were many question marks, which is, I can only say is a win for me. Let's see. After that, oh yeah, more nostalgia. Solomon's Key revisit. I never streamed it for Twitch. I played it on YouTube a good while ago. I actually managed to finish the whole game in one stream, which is hard because like the last 5 rooms of this puzzle game are extremely difficult. It was a fun ride. Great music, solid platforming, good puzzles. This was definitely a fun ride to go through again. And I want to revisit the sequel, Fire and Ice, as well for NES at some time in the future. So there's going to be more puzzling on my channel as well. After that, I played probably, the second game of this list so far that I haven't played before, which was Songs for a Hero on Steam, which was a surprisingly charming and fun platformer game where the unique gimmick is that whenever you're walking around and doing stuff, the hero is singing to whatever is happening. And I thought it was really well done, and it was funny, and it was charming, and like I said, and had lots of secrets and extra bosses and funny references and just good humor and good music. I mean, obviously, it's a singing musical game, so the music has to be great. But yeah, it was. I had a great time. There's actually a sequel coming out sometime soon. So whenever the English version is released, I'll probably also slap that one on the to-do list. So there's going to be more Songs for a Hero eventually on my channel as well. After that, I went through Quest for Glory for the 3rd time as a thief. I've already recorded the Magic User playthrough on my channel long time ago. I streamed the Paladin playthrough for my Twitch some years ago, and now it was time to go through it again as a thief. Once again with the help of a lot of friends of mine for the voice acting for the first 3 games, and it was great. Thief was a lot harder than Magic User or Paladin, I gotta say. Especially in like this first 2 games, it was difficult to get through. But it was fun. We had a good laugh. We saw all the familiar faces again, of course, but as a thief, we got to see a lot of new things too. Especially in like the 2nd and 5th game, there was a lot of new things to do as a thief, which was interesting. I liked it. There's only one more playthrough to do for Quest for Glory at some point, and that will be Fighter, and then I've done all 4 paths. So, sometime in the somewhat distant future, I'll do Quest for Glory Fighter path. And that'll be the last time I visit that series, which will be a bit of a sad moment for me, but oh well. Again, nostalgia. I grew up with Quest for Glory. It's an amazing series. Highly recommend for anyone a fan of Shara games. Point and click / adventure RPG sort of. They're great. All of them are great. Especially if you pick up the remade version by Shara of the first game and the fan-made remake of Quest for Glory 2, I think made by ADG or AVG. I think it's ADG Interactive. They made a fantastic version that can actually be played without using the parser and just with the typical mouse. And looks like the first game almost enhanced. It's great. Highly recommend all 5 of them. as a series, because you can actually import and export your character throughout the entire series. So you start with a character, you finish the first game, you save it, and you import to the next one, and so on. Your character literally travels with you as you go through the games, which is a very unique feature, and that's what makes the games even better. So highly recommend playing them all if you haven't. After all of that came the Halloween game, Clock Tower. I've never played it before, and it was recommended to me by a couple of people, and I gotta say, yes, it was a bit scary. It was more like atmospheric scary, though. It wasn't like body horror scary or like flying limbs scary or blood everywhere scary, but it was like that like unsettling, unnerving kind of scary, which is just the right edge of scary, you know? When you're walking through a long hallway and there's no music and all you hear is like the rustling of the wind outside and the occasional clock ticking and stuff like that, it's just right. It was good. I liked it. It had I had a few jump scares, but nothing too crazy. It was great. Although my playthrough was a bit handicapped, I want to say, due to the fact that I had no idea how the game worked, and apparently there's the multiple endings, and to get all of the endings you have to do very specific things. So I went through the game once blind, then I went through it again a second time to look for things I missed, and then in the end I looked up a few things like how do you even get these endings, and I was like, oh, I'll never figure that out. So that was a bit disappointing that I had to look up how to get certain endings, but I still got like four or five endings of like the 8 or 9 that exist, so it was great. I did enjoy it. I'm happy that I was finally able to experience this apparently classic game. For a lot of people, this is also nostalgia. Even though it never came out in Europe, there is a translated version that I played, and that worked just fine. After Clock Tower came a revisit to The Prophecy, one of the weirdest point and clicks I've ever played. I played it for YouTube once, but I decided to play it again for Twitch. And like with Zargon, this game gave a lot of question marks to the chat, which I only think is a good thing, because I want to confuse chats sometimes. I'm kidding, guys. I still love you, but yeah. Prophecy is a strange point and click with decent music. It's just a typical point and click with strange puzzles. That's all I can say, really. If you haven't played it yet and you like point and clicks, check it out. After that, I did my yearly Let's Fail run with my sister, and this time it was Gauntlet Dark Legacy for the Game Boy, for the GameCube even. What a fun ride. Like, that was hilarious. We went through the entire game, killing thousands of enemies, leveling up Green Jester and Red Sorceress, as we got all shards, and basically 100% of the game, minus a few characters that we didn't unlock, but we got everything else. All the items, all the bosses beat, all the secrets shown, at least, so yeah, was a great time. I'm glad that I'm able to go back to the Let's Fails with my sis again after a long hiatus, so you can expect there to be more Let's Fails in the future. I have a couple lined up, like 2, maybe 3 games, so I want to try to get at least 1 Let's Fail every year out with my sis. So if you like those, look forward to more. After that, and the game I'm currently still playing is La Mulana for Steam. I started that nearly 2 months ago, and I'm still busy. Hot damn, this game is hard, but it's fun. It's basically a Metroidvania in a giant ruin where you have many puzzles to solve and riddles to unravel and bosses to fight, items to get. It's a giant maze with a lot of references and little details and using items in strange and intricate ways, and oh my god, it's a giant spider web of puzzles, and it's amazing, but it takes a long time to unravel it. At the moment of recording this video, let's just say I beat 6 out of 8 Guardians. And item-wise, I'm like 90 or 95% done. But the game is not over yet. I have one more stream this year, which is next week on the Friday. I don't think I'll finish it. I think this game will carry over into the next one, like 1 or 2 streams. But yeah, that was my entire 2022 overview. A lot of games, huh? And like I said, a lot of nostalgia. Almost all of them I have some connection with, or people in my chat have connection with. So, yeah. I'll continue to do more awesome games in the next year. The first one after La Mulana being a revisit to Hexplore, which I've already streamed for Twitch. One of the first games I ever streamed, so it's nearly 5 years ago, so it's due for a revisit. And it's another game I love a lot. And I'm actually going to play the GOG version this time, not my own version, so this one is a bit more stable and shouldn't crash, which is nice. As for other things I have planned, too much. Like, I have so many things on my to-do list, but I actually managed to get a capture card. Yes, finally. So I'm also able to do some experimentation and add PS2, PS3, and Switch games to my lineup if I do some testing. So you can expect even more to show up on top of everything else that I have lined up. So I'm not stopping anytime soon. I'm still gonna keep going. I still love streaming. I still love playing games and seeing you guys in chat, either on YouTube or on Twitch. So I'll still keep going. And yeah, thank you all very much for the support, guys. Thank you all very much for coming to my chats, either one, and being there for me. And I hope you have a good time watching my content. And if it makes you smile, if it makes you laugh, if it makes you cringe, whatever it is, if it just gives you some sort of enjoyment, that's all good for me. But for now, though, I'm gonna close this video, and I'll see you guys in the next year when I finish La Mulana, move to Hexplore, and then many other adventures. So stick around. See you guys later. Take care, everyone, and bye-bye.